Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome all. Great to have this session. I'm thrilled to present the data quality session, which is one of my favorite topic. Data quality is one of the crucial element in the data management, and it also ensures that how reliable, how accurate, and effectiveness in making decision and operations. How good is your data? So, without any further delay, I'll jump into the agenda for this meeting. Let me share my screen. Share. So we're going to go through quickly about introduction about myself and also the data quality framework. And we're going to go through what problem we're trying to solve here. So what is actually the problem and how we're going to addressing that problem. What is the solution for that and how we are addressing that. We'll go into a quick demo and then we'll end up with feedback and a quick Q&A. So that's the agenda, and feel free to type in what you would like to have in your chat. And if most of you couldn't able to attend this meeting because of the time constraints or other commitments, they are personally emailed as well, also via LinkedIn. So this video is recorded, so it's also available as on demand. So you could also see it later, and you can always pass on your feedback and questionnaires, if anything, after viewing this session. A quick word about myself. Bharani Dakshinamurthy, data engineer at easysolutions.com. Worked in various organizations, as you can see already on the screen. I'm an author, writer, and I also frequently write articles on LinkedIn and also at Medium. And this is a spin-off of all my experiences coming together. I made a framework, a data quality framework. And yeah, that's quick and short enough for this meeting, I guess. That's my introduction. Go into the presentation mode. So data quality framework is what it does is it builds a trust on your data. So a lot of data is coming in, and what we do is we try to provide that tick, that check on your database, on your data set, that it has gone through all the quality checks. So so this is what the quality framework is going to do for you. How we're going to do that? Using a generalized framework. And as you can see, so once you set up, why a generalized framework? Because it's centralized at one place, all your projects can use that, and all department in your organization speak the same language, same way of doing the data quality. So easy for the stakeholders to understand, and so that's how we will solve this by having a generalized framework. And yeah, it's easy to set up, and it's SQL based, SQL Server based. That means you have an open source code, which is not open source, but source code is open, so you can also customize based on your needs. It is the core is there. You can further extend it. So that's how it's all. That's how it works. So agenda number point 2, that was the introduction about the tool. What are the problems at this moment? Yeah. So as you can see, there's a huge market gap. What I mean to say in the huge market gap is there are tools. For instance, Microsoft has data quality services, TQS, Colibra. There's also a tool. IBM has got Quality Stage, the Talent, Informatica. All these tools, they are really on a very high-end tools. So what I mean by high-end is like you need to have a lot of investment. A lot of people has to get trained on that, and a huge cost. And there are also tools which are there, like Apache, have some other tools for big data, but it's also not really having all the features. So this to fill this gap is where the data quality framework comes in. It's a relational database management system. It's a relational database management, which means that for all relational database systems, for instance, SQL Server, and also for Azure or also AWS RDS, this is a perfect tool. So this fills that gap. Secondly, customers, they also have the big challenge. For instance, 32% of the companies only are able to get the real value from their data. That means a huge work to do to really make a sense of your data, and to have that, to make that sense. This is the tool which will help you bring you to that fine data by defining all your good qualities rules on your data, and this will facilitate that. And not to underestimate the whole world and also the data management sort of going inclined towards the AI, which is a new thing coming in, and for AI to work, you need to have really good data, and this is also this is also helping in there. Third point, disorganized. I have, from various companies where I worked, I have seen how the data quality is done in a very siloed teams. For instance, a project has got its own data quality systems. For instance, the other department is doing it in another way. So all the measures are very spread across, not centralized. It's in the end of the day, when two teams coming together, you still have an issue of not understanding each other. So this solves that problem. That there's no ad hoc. This is a centralized framework set up for your organization. Everybody can use it. Last but not least, quality data. Lack of quality data also have issues, like you have a loss, in the sense that if you're not able to derive good insights, it's a big loss for the company. So all these problems are being addressed in this tool. These are the, so the next slide. So all these problems, how we're going to address that. This is a sort of generic framework. So I'm going to go quick little bit, because it's a turbo session. We have it is simple and robust generic framework, effortless setup, which we're going to see in the demo, and SQL driven. The best part is everybody speaks SQL language, very easy, and this is open source. That source code is open. It's not open source. Open source code, which means that you can customize further to your needs. Well harmonized, standardized across all your projects. Boost team efficiency. Everybody talking in same terms. Everybody knows what what kind of tables, which tables we have to use, same language, so it's faster, easier, creates a good team efficiency. It creates a trusted data ecosystem. What I mean by that is you start any project, anything you initiate in your organization, you always have DQ by design, data quality by design. So, and you need to have a big thing in that. You automatically start thinking about what kind of rules I need to think about for this data set. And that's where before the project getting started, you already have the rules that these rules has to be implemented to have a great data set. So you already think about DQ by design, and those rules will you feed into the tool. Sets a very great reference for your stakeholders and also for your team members. So anything you display on your dashboard, you know that it has gone through the data quality checks. And there might be that there are some issues in the data, but at least you're informed that those are some of the issues, but we're working on it. So still, that gives a very good weight to your data. Also initiates great compliance, so you can so if you want to start a compliance thing for your company or for your data set, it also helps you in that. So custom insights, quick, once you have the rules in place, you can run the system daily or weekly, and it creates, it integrates well with other reporting tools. It creates views. Those views could be your for your dashboard, which you can use. And yeah, so they have custom views which can be used, and which you can also make more views yeah, on your data set. So this, and it's all comes solves a huge problem with having a generic framework. So we're going to go through quickly a demo. We're going to install the DQ framework, run, go through the workshop, a small DQ rules which we're going to define, and we're going to roll back. So going into the SQL Server, I have a demo script, I have a workshop script. Before going into this, I would like to just give you a small introduction about what the DQ is. For instance, here, there are this one. So what happens in the data quality framework is we have a validation framework. So in the validation, we have a set of tables which comes together, and so which takes care of the whole process. We have a domain, and under the domain we have set of rules for the data set, and they all works in together in harmony. So they all are grouped together under a certain dimension. For instance, you create a rule for instance, consistency check, or you create a rule for uniqueness check, or you create a rule for qualitative check. So they are grouped together, and those are quality dimensions, which you see on top. So that is what, yeah, so all together becomes a data quality framework. We have this concept in place. What also is important is this one. This is the secret sauce and in the data model of the data quality framework. So also quick explanation on this. You have a domain that is the business rule here. So under this business rule, you have different domains. For instance, it could also be an domain like auditing department, or for sales or marketing. That's your domain. Under that domain, you have set of rules. For instance, you create rules for your sales department or marketing department. So that rules comes into the rule table. And each rule has, it's not a fixed rule, it will be parameterized. So for instance, you want to run monthly or a certain time of the month. So this could be, you can't just hard code it. And those parameterized views could be, could use this parameter table. So that is like automatically it takes care of that. So you include some parameters here. And that's it. These are the, so what you do is when you run this, it creates an instance. This is the instance table. So when you run, so it looks into that domain, it picks up all the rules which are active and it runs under that instance. And when you run, of course, it creates log. And there comes all the logs comes here. And the output of the rule is stored in the results table. And this is what it is. This is the result table. And what you can also have a feature here in this is that you can also failed records, the failed rules, you can collect some sample data. For instance, 100 sample data and put it in here and you can see what kind of records failed. So I can just troubleshoot and see why it got failed, what were the attributes. So this is all together as a DQ framework. So we have done this one. Another very important I want to explain is how you bring in all your rules into the system. So there are three ways of doing that. One is the store procedure. So you just have a rule, and very important, every rule is translated into SQL query. So you need to do that, and that by the store procedure you bring it in. Second is the Excel sheet. So in your department, you'll have Excel sheet where a business analyst can or data analyst can just add all the rules in the Excel sheet and also with the query. So that you can import it in one go. So you not to go like you have to have 100, 200 rules. You're not going to do store procedure 100 times. So that's where the Excel sheet is coming in handy. The third one is the bulk load using a data catalog. So in your organization, you have a data catalog. Where tables, columns, everything is available. So what you can do, you can pull all the table and columns and create dynamic queries, insert statements, and those insert statements, you can add them in one go into the DQ rule table. So these are the three different ways of adding data quality rules into the data quality framework. Okay, let's go back to this. So what we have now, so we're gonna install this. So as you can see, we're gonna install in EasyDQ database. So we don't have any tables, views, or store procedures. And store procedures will come here if you're going to install. So you could install on an existing database or a new database. So both are possible. So what we're going to do is, it's working now. So we need to go into the demo folder, and then this is what the packet which you get, and in there is a source code, and you have the install file. So before installing, so there's no, so you need to know three things, which is name of the server, and this is the name of the server. We're going to use this database, and we're going to call a QF quality framework. So we go here, install, name of the server, and then EasyDQ, and then quality framework. So there we go. So creating the schema, and then created the tables, created the store procedures, and created the views, triggers, and that's it. It's successfully deployed. So easy was that. So if you just refresh this, and you would see the data quality framework is being installed here. You see all the tables, you have the views, and also the store procedures. So this is how simple it is to bring the data quality framework on an existing database or a new database. So what we're going to do is we have gone through all these entities. We talked about that quickly. So we're going to do is a workshop. In the workshop, I will also show you the workshop file. So we have here, what we're going to do is we're going to create 3 rules. So, this rule number 1 is we're going to check the birth date, which is not filled, and also check the birth date younger than 18 and greater than 113 years old. It's also a very good topic. Now it's also playing in the US government, where the payments are being done who are all passed away. So in the banking and the insurance domain, these are all very important checks. So as you can see, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to quick to the source. We're going to load the sample data. We go. Workshop, and then we have the sample data. And sample data we're going to load similarly the same way. We're going to have the server name. We're going to easy DQ, and then the schema name QF quality framework, and there we go. So this is being done. If we go back and we refresh the tables, what you're going to see is quality framework. So these are the sample data. So we have around 500 records. So let's see. To go back to the workshop script, as I said, first you need to create a domain. So what we're going to do is we're going to execute. This is once for our sales department, you create once, and marketing department, you create once. So like that, we're going to do an audit. We're going to do some DQ checks. So we create this one and a proper database. So we go for easy DQ and create, that's the first domain. So we have created a domain. And when you create this, after that, we're going to insert DQ rules. As I said, there are different ways 3 ways of doing it: store procedure, using Excel sheet, and dynamic query. So we're going to do first the store procedure way. So this is store procedure here. This is a secret sauce, as you see, date of birth, which is checking for the null. And this is a store procedure way. So we create store procedure. There we go. One day DQ rule is being added. This is the dynamic query. This is the data load option 3, where you create this statement dynamically, pulling out all your table and column details from your data catalog. So we're going to do insert this 1 and insert number 2. So let's see. So we created all 3, but pay attention to that the 2 we have created using dynamic query, and the 1 directly into the rule table. So the 2, which is not into the rule table yet, because we just created it using dynamic. So we need to validate these rules, whether all the records, everything is correct. So with that, we have created 2 which can do the script validation, because there are scripts here. It could go wrong. So you validate the scripts already, and then you load that into the DQ rule table. So this one, we have to run this and see whether it's good or not. As you can see, both validated, no errors. And then you can load that bulk load into the DQ rule table. So as you see, validation loaded, 2 records loaded into the DQ model table. Again, this you do it once to set up, and new rules are coming. You can use a store procedure, and more than 10 rules. Use this way, Excel way or dynamic way if it's possible. So finally, the setup is done. As you can see, these 2 are, as you see, this is a domain which we created. Under the domain, this is a domain, and we have created 3 rules. And if you can see the 3 rules, the description of the rules, they all proper quality dimensions. These are two accuracy check, and one is a completeness check. Check whether it is not null statements, and it is also possible to set a target. You can say it should be equal to 0, and you can also say equal to 10 or equal to whatever. This is more, you can customize it. You can always activate, deactivate it, and this all comes automatically. The triggers will take care of it, who has created it, when it was added. So all those is built in already inside. So now what to do is it's being set. So every time the new data comes in, all the data already inside. So what you can do is, this is the framework which you run. This is a periodic framework. You can put it in a job, which can be scheduled. It can run every day or weekly, and it can keep running and it creates output. So this is what we're going to run. So we're going to bypass the, and you can also see it is captured failed sample records, which is 1. So we can also see that as well. I'm running this, and now it has run. Okay, every day. Every day this procedure has to run based on your requirement. And you can see now the summary. So you can see now this is your DQ. So you can see this is the results table. So it has run. It has checked for this. You can see this is what you're looking for, these ones. So as you see, there are 2 DQs, which is failed, one is passed. And the first one, let's look at the first one, the failed. There are 9 records, which is failed out of 500 records. It has scanned all the 500 records, 9 records failed. It calculates the percentage, 1.8 is non-compliance. And here, 0%, all good. So you could bundle them, you can group them together, and you can call that this one like this, like you can another way of seeing it, or how accurate what my data set. You can say 0.2 non-compliance. So 1,000 records scanned, 16.2 was non-compliance. You can also set a threshold. As I said, in the rule table, equal to 0, you can also say equal to 5 or something. So you can set the threshold as well. 9 records, not okay out of 500. So if you really want to see that, and you can go here and see the sample table. No, we also captured the sample table, but let's see quickly if the 9 records were null. Let's see. So we would say date of birth is null. And then there we go. So the 9 records were null. Let's see. So I think this concludes sort of our technical demo, I think. And let's see, more important is this one. Every time when you run, it creates an instance. We have run a couple of times, so not the framework, but also adding the record. So it's standing at this moment as instance 3. And these are the log, and you can see. Also, every time when you run, you have very good minute, everything is being captured. So if you see this started, it gets all the parameters, schedule, and for the domain 1, it runs all the rules, and total is processed. You can see everything. So it really to the minute level, every step is being recorded. It's being logged. So you know where something goes wrong, you can always go and come to the log file and you can find out. Okay, I think this is it. So I also said that we captured the sample records. Let's see the sample record. This is the sample record. Let's see. So if you could see for the null, there are 9 records which are not okay. So this is a sample record. It gives you an XML view of the 9 records. You see there are 9 records here where the date of birth is null. So in that way, you can see you collect some sample and check how bad or which records are wrong. And then you can see immediately the records are wrong. Similarly for the other one as well. Let's go. So A few scenarios. So what happens, like you have Excel sheet, you have the data quality, data catalog you're using, and you bring in all the records, and something went wrong, and you have loaded the DQ table with all wrong records, and you want to delete them. So like there's 3 records. So what you could do is you can delete them using this small store procedure, which is already there, truncate. So you have to just do this. It has deleted everything now. So if you go back, it will still keep the domain, but it has deleted the record so that you can again the Excel sheet, you can reload it. So that feature is there. What else? We're going to go back here. So we've gone through the installation, we've gone through the framework. We're going to roll back as well now. So what we're going to do is go back to the framework, source code, and then here we're going to roll back. Before the rollback, we need to know the name of the server, which I will copy in my key. And so this one and rollback. Rollback is if you're going to test on some server and you execute this and then, okay, I have tested everything, it finds all fine, or for some reason I want to just roll back, that you can do it. So this one, easy DQ, and then quality framework. And that's it. It has rolled back. So if you go back and now if you refresh all your database, you will see that everything is removed. So everything is gone. And yeah, so everything is gone. Yeah. So that's in quick short demo. So with that, I want to sum up with any feedback or questions. I would like to hear your feedback. It will be really valuable for us to see, yeah, what you feel about it, and if you're already having some tools or you're missing some features, and you probably see it here or you don't see it here. Yeah, please advise us. Yeah, via LinkedIn, or if you'd like to have more sessions on this, also possible. We can do elaborate session one-to-one. And any questions which you couldn't able to yeah, ask here, or not because you're not present here, you're seeing on-demand videos, you could always send the questions to info@dataqualityframework.com. Yeah, with that, I thank you all for your time, and it was great. I was thrilled to present to you this session, and I'm looking forward for more hear from you. And yeah, have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.